Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Toxic Radio at Night. We're all in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm here to talk about all things toxic and taboo. No topic is off the table. If it's toxic to our families, toxic to our culture, toxic to our country, and toxic to our way of life, we'll talk about it. When all the others decided to go toxic left, we stood firmly right. Greetings from my hideout somewhere in the rural parts of Canada. Hey everyone, it's been a little while since we've had a chat. I had been working really hard the last couple months on my first long video, kind of like a documentary. I've been calling it a documentary-ish. It's hard to categorize it exactly. So that took a lot of my time. It took, every spare moment I had in between work and my days off, and I had a few vacation days, so I used those days to work on it. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's on my YouTube channel, so there's been a few videos that I've worked on since then, but I've had some good positive feedback about the long video, and it's on a really touchy subject, controversial subject, but I've been seeing a lot of comments out there even about the Canadian RCMP went down in Halifax and exactly what's kind of going on. So it's not meant to attack police officers or RCMP. So I bring in some experts and also a veteran, and he said I could use his stuff because he was a police officer for a while. So he has an interesting perspective being a veteran and a former police officer, plus another expert that I had, and we just ask a lot of questions. We can't just defer to authority, I think, anymore. There's just too many bad people out there. There's too many bad actors that are against us, and we have to not just take it for granted that they're all on our side. All right, we can see that with oh my goodness, my dog is having issues. Poor thing. What's wrong, puppy? What's wrong, puppy? It's all right. Anyways, sorry, I call her puppy. So, I sort of thought one way, and then over the past few years, in talking with my expert, realizing, we just can't take things for granted anymore. We really got to ask questions of everyone, and we're doing that, right? We're asking questions of teachers, of doctors, of the United Nations, of the Catholic Church, of priests, and pastors and evangelists and missionaries and politicians, of course. So why not ask questions about police officers and the whole issue of policing, or even depolicing, which we're seeing happen, right? They're letting criminals out of prisons. They're letting protesters riot and loot, but they're gonna drag someone that doesn't have a mask on into jail. So it's okay. Ask those questions. It's not that we're against one whole group. It's not that we're for one whole group. Think of it this way. We can be for the good people and for the patriots, but we really need to hold to account the bad people out there, the bad actors, as I call them, and the treasonous people, and the globalists that are not for specific individual countries, but they tear countries down to build up a global community, global governance. So that's what that video is about. I would love if you check it out if you haven't already. It's called Bent Badges. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about was very interesting things happening in my community. So I won't wear a mask no matter what I'm not sure if you know this, but I will not wear a mask. I refuse to put any mask on at any time. Okay, that's my stance on it. That's my red line. I'm not going to do it. And when I go out into the community, I'm not wearing a mask. If you won't let me come into your business because I'm not wearing a mask, then fine, I'm not going in there. But I've noticed a lot of people in my community coming up to me, and one person was really glad that I was educated about the pros and cons of the masks and why they might be forcing us to wear masks, because it's obviously not for our health. We're breathing in carbon dioxide, which we're breathing out when we breathe, right? So we want to breathe in oxygen, not that stuff that's all sitting around in that mask and the bacterias and other pathogens that it's going to be now, entangled up into that filthy mask, is the way. It's disgusting to me. I mean, I see if you have to, when I would paint with oil paints in the house or something, if I was dealing with pesticides like malathion, I'd put on my mask. And I was probably even putting on the wrong type of mask, but it was quite a heavy duty mask with filters and all that stuff. But when a government's forcing me to put a piece of cloth on my face as a woman, and in honor of all the women that fought and died for any sort of freedom that I have, I'm not putting a veil on my face. For all the women in Iran and that are going to prison and being killed because they won't wear a hijab, niqab, burqa, I'm not putting a veil on my face. I'm not going to put something that symbolizes that type of enslavement on my face. So it's even more important, I think, because I'm a woman, I don't want to be enslaved that way. I want to keep my freedom. So I'm not putting masks on. And a lot of people in the community have been talking to me, and they hate the masks. They refuse to let their children be masked. They are homeschooling. Their friends are homeschooling. And so I'm hearing a lot of good things. And when they see I wasn't wearing a mask, they whip their mask off and they're not putting a mask back on. And, different things like that. So that's encouraging. We have to take the lead in it. We have to be brave enough. I'm not sure how far they're going to go. It's my understanding it's against our human rights and our Canadian rights to be forced to wear the mask. It's not a law. It may be a bylaw in some places, and we can say we're exempt from wearing a mask, and no one has any right to ask us why. So it can be we could be exempt because it's against our religion and our beliefs and our political beliefs. It doesn't have to be a medical exemption. We don't have to tell them it's not a medical exemption. So be clever, be kind out there, and realize that there are employees and businesses that are forced to do this. I mean, I guess the employees could quit, but don't take it out on them. It's not their fault. Gently educate them, don't yell at them, but maybe boycott the business, get the word out, just do some education. So that's been encouraging. What is really scary is seeing that in different countries like Australia, I've been seeing come across my path information about children being taken away if they have COVID, and or people they were in contact with had the virus. I've seen stuff about this in Canada as well. Same with forced vaccinations and mandatory vaccinations. So if you don't get your vaccination, you won't be able to go shopping. If you're not wearing a mask, in some places you're not allowed to go enter that business. So it's not a far stretch. If you don't get a vaccination, if you don't get your kid vaccinated, they may take your child away from you. We are not too far away from that stage in this game. It's this serious. They don't care. They will destroy us and they will destroy our lives. So in my last video, I talk about war. We are in a war. We've been losing a lot of the little battles, especially in Canada. We're way too passive. We're way too sorry all the time. And we just finally, at some point, we're going to need to stand up and fight back. And today I saw a video about in the Netherlands. Okay, so they're letting out criminals out of prisons everywhere. They don't go after people that are terrorizing communities by looting and destroying businesses and attacking citizens, but guaranteed they are sending out citizen officers to arrest people in the community that aren't wearing a mask. And in Australia, they're setting up drones to chase you down. And again, they have weaponized drones. We're not too far from this stage where they will hunt and shoot us down if we are not complying to the state. And which is the state now? Not our own state of government in our country. It is the globalist government, the United Nations global governance. There is a parliamentary United Nations parliament, and eventually the one world leader will take center stage and rule from there. And they will divide the world up into regions, and there will be rulers of each region. And there will be no vote. We will have no say. It's coming whether we like it or not. Maybe you're asking, why do I even bother? Why not just give in along the way and make my life easier? Okay, you're gonna make your life easier, but you're gonna lose your soul. Look at what happened to people in China. They're not allowed to practice any religion. They have no freedom of speech. So not only have they lost their own freedoms, you lose a big part of yourself. So if you've lost your soul that way, but unless you stand up, I'm not willing to take that risk to kind of sign on the dotted line to the evil ruler of the world, which is Satan. So I'd rather take that hard stance now and not take that risk. They're going to persecute you anyways. Even the good Chinese, even the Chinese people that are good, so-called good, and obeying their communist government are getting persecuted. They're never good enough for the state. And the Christians in China are severely persecuted and really have to go underground. I'll tell you one thing, those Christians, they worship 12 hours. They don't go to church for 1 hour. And oh, by the way, what the heck? One thing that has shocked me is everybody willingly went along with their churches being locked down, and they're not allowed to sing, they're not allowed to go to church. Oh my word. Well, that was just a little update. You know, I love to see the comments. They're very interesting to me, and I really appreciate them. I like to at least like them and acknowledge them that way. I don't always get a chance to reply to all of them, but I do read them all because I love them. So thanks for all your support, everyone out there. Really, really been encouraged by that. It's been an awesome journey, and as far as now, I know I'm planning on keeping on making more videos. God bless. Toxic radio at night. We're all in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm here to talk about all things toxic and taboo. No topic is off the table. If it's toxic to our families, toxic to our culture, toxic to our country, and toxic to our way of life, we'll talk about it. When all the others decided to go toxic left, we stood firmly right.